Okay, so we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to upload a book to CreateSpace. To Amazon. Kindle Direct Publishing used to be called CreateSpace way back in the day. So this is actually a book that I am re-uploading. We uploaded it. There were some issues with the sizing, so we went back, we fixed the files. So now I am re-uploading. But it will still work to take you through the process and also show you what it's like when you have to go through the process of fixing it. So we're going to be working on this book. We all have sacred spaces, and we are going to go back in and continue setup. So here's the basic details. Like I said, we've already filled this out, but I'll just walk through real quick. So primary language, book title. If you are getting your ISBN number through on your own, not through Amazon, the one thing you have to make sure is that this title, and if you have a subtitle, they match exactly to the way that you registered it when you bought your ISBN number. There can't be so much as a comma or an apostrophe or a dash or a space that is out of place. Otherwise, it'll get rejected every time that you try to upload it. So that's just one thing that I've been caught in that loop before, and that if they don't tell you specifically that's why they're rejecting the book, they just reject it. So that is something to check if you're having issues. If it's in a series, you can fill this out. If it's an edition number, most books, nonfiction books, don't fill this out. I think maybe twice in the last 10 years have I ever filled out these two sections. So, but okay, so then you put your author information. If you have additional authors, they would go down here. If you have an illustrator, you would click there. So then the description. This is what will show up when you go to your page on Amazon. You have the book cover on the left, and then you have the description. So this is what will show up there. So a lot of people just take the text off the back of the book. I do that as well. You can add more. You can start there and add another paragraph. It's totally up to you, but just keep in mind, this is what people are going to see when they go to Amazon and look at your book. Everyone should be clicking this if you're publishing your own work. This is where you do keywords. I'm not a keyword expert per se. I'm not going to get into this, but just you do want to use keywords. You want to fill this out as much as possible, and you can change this over time. So one thing to note, once you've published your book and move forward, you cannot come back and change the title. So you want to make sure before you finish up everything that the title is exactly right. I don't think you could change the author information either. I'm not 100% sure on that. Actually, no, I am. Yes, if you need to change the author name, you have to call KDP, Amazon customer service, and they will do it for you. But it's not an easy thing you can just go back and fix. The description, I think you can change. The keywords you can definitely change. The categories you can change. All that kind of stuff. So, and then this is just, inappropriate stuff. So once you've got all this done, we're going to click the next step. We're going to come to the next page, which is content. So this is where you enter your ISBN number, in print, which you don't have to. You only fill this out if you have an imprint associated with this ISBN. If you purchase this through My Identifiers or another outlet, then you would be asked to give an imprint. It can be your name. It doesn't have to be a publishing company. It can just be your name. It doesn't matter. But what is here has to match what is in the records with this. And then what is in the records is the title for this number has to exactly match the title on this on Amazon. So this is optional. I'll actually now have to move forward because we've taken longer than we expected. It won't let you put it into the future because it doesn't do pre-orders for print. You can do it on the Kindle side, but you can't do it here. So I just usually put it for today's date because fingers crossed it'll all go well. So here is where you will select. So for most books, it's going to be a black and white interior with either cream or white paper. This happens to be a children's book that we're doing, so it is going to be a color interior on white paper. Trim size, this is a non-standard trim size. Most text, books that are just text and not illustrations are going to be a 6x9, sometimes a 5x7, but there are a wide variety of different sizes. And so you can select that here. You do want to make sure that the file you're uploading with your book is already formatted to whatever this trim size is. Otherwise, Amazon's going to kick it out. So that could be another reason if you're having issues. If that they'll tell you if that's why they kick it out. They'll say that the uploaded file is not the expected trim size, and so that's your signal for that. So bleed is really only an issue with illustrations if they go all the way to the edge. Bleed is the space between the words and the edge of the page. So if you just have a book that's a normal book with text, you will select no bleed. And then the cover, matte, glossy, that's just purely your choice. Matte is a little bit more coming into favor now. It's a little bit more modern. It's also much easier to photograph. You don't get the glare. So for social media, for Instagram, all that kind of stuff, a matte cover tends to be more useful. So here is really the fun part. And I say that a little bit sarcastically. So this is where we upload our document. So it says that you can upload it in all these different formats. However, I have found I just have a lot of challenges when I do it in any of these formats. So I always do it as a PDF. I lay out the books in InDesign and I export them as a PDF, fully formatted to the trim size, the margins, all of that stuff. And so I am not going to give any advice or information about using any of these other files. We're just going to work on PDF. So as I said, this is a re-upload. So this is what we had uploaded last time. And every time you do a new file, whether it's even the tiniest change, make the file a new name so that you can make sure, so you come back and be like, okay, this is what's up there. And the new file that comes up is going to have a different name, different file name. And it's a way to make sure, just to double check that you are uploading the correct file. So go back to the right client folder, and this is my most recent one. So we're going to upload it. The problem is this can take a minute, but so that's step one. That doesn't mean we're done, but that's a start. So we're just going to leave that there for a second. And then we're going to come down here, and we also had to make a little change on our cover. We had to make a minute change. So it automatically starts reprocessing both files, even though this isn't new. But I'm going to see if we can circumvent that real quick. And we're going to do this. So first we uploaded just the full cover. And now we are uploading final 2 because that shows an edit was made. And so this is the same thing. So this is going to process, and it can take anywhere. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. You can go away. You can close this down and come back later. I usually don't. I'm just a little superstitious about it. I generally sit and wait until you get a box. This box pops up like this box that says it's uploaded and you're good to go. And then I leave it up on my screen. I may go do something else, but I don't, I don't close it. That's my own superstition. So this could take a while. So I'm just going to pause the recording and then I'll pick it back up again once we are back in business. So I will be right back. One thing I realized I can talk about while still waiting for this file to upload is this section here with the barcode. If you are not putting your own barcode on, and generally speaking, you're probably not going to be doing that, you just need to leave space on your back cover design so that Amazon can put the barcode, and that's for their inventory control. So you might want to put your own barcode. So you would purchase that barcode the same place that you would purchase your ISBN. And like if you go through My Identifiers, you can sort of purchase a package, and that will let you have inventory control. So if you're selling the book directly yourself through the website, if you're selling it through stores and want to be able, like on a consignment basis, and want to be able to track those sales and that pricing, then it might be worth buying a barcode. But if you're selling through a store, generally they'll put a sticker with their own barcode over it. And you've probably seen that when you've bought books at stores, there's a sticker over the barcode. So generally speaking, I don't get involved in the barcodes. I let the distributor put their own barcode on it. And then in this case, Amazon is our distributor. So, but you do want to make sure that in the lower right-hand corner of the cover that there's space with no text and no important graphics for Amazon to be able to print that barcode. So just another thing to keep in mind. Okay, so we're going to pause again, wait for this to finish processing, and then I will be back with you. Okay, so that turned out just to be another, not even a minute after I paused it, and we are ready to go. So the cover uploaded successfully, and this is just step one. This doesn't mean you're not going to have future problems, but this is definitely, we've achieved the first step. So the next step is they require you to look at the launch previewer before you can go forward. And this is your first chance to just make sure that when they import it into their system, everything looks the way you expected. It is also the first check for quality and making sure that there aren't going to be any issues. And so it looks like we do maybe have, it says they didn't have any issues. I thought they might complain about the way this interior red line is right up against the edge of the logo, but they seem to be okay with that. So that is good. So if you did have an issue, let's say this logo was all the way at the edge and it went below this white line, they're gonna yell about that. So you'll right here, you'll have the list of what is the problem. So you can click through here and just sort of make sure everything is the way you want it to be. So just make sure pages, everything's turning out on the right page. So this interior, this is the trim line. So the book will get cut. You know, they print it in these big sheets and then they cut it with these big, like paper cutters. And so that cut line is going to happen somewhere between this edge and this line. 99% of the time, it's much closer to this line than this line. But they require this as the gutter just to protect themselves, just in case. So you just want to make sure. And so if this were a case, like if this introduction, let's say, were up against this gray line or over that gray line, that would be a quality check that they would kick out. So, so it looks good. Everything looks good. You also can view it this way. So that can also, that just shows you the page layouts. So for something like this, where it is children's book, you know, it might be helpful to see it like that, big picture. Anyway, so I like it. I think everything looks good. I don't have any issues. Amazon doesn't have any issues. So we're going to go ahead and approve. So that's step one. That is that's a very good sign. And this is where it tells you what you will pay. This is your author cost. This is not the retail price. This is if you want to have copies of the book, you can order them through this interface, through this back-end site, and that's what you'll pay per book. And it does not change based on volume. You can order 10 or you can order 1,000 and it'll stay $4.28 per book. Shipping and tax will shift a little bit, but otherwise. So we're good to go. We're going to keep on trucking here. And now we're at the last page. So all the territories, if you want to pick and choose where you go, but generally speaking, I usually just say all territories. You put your pricing, expanded distribution. I always select this. This is what lets bookstores and wholesale distributors access the book and be able to order it at wholesale rates, which is why this is lower. So direct sales through Amazon, you're going to make at pricing at $14.99. The author's royalty is going to be $4.71 for every book, but on the expanded distribution, it's going to be $1.72. So this isn't a moneymaker, but it's a way to just get the book in more people's hands, get more people to see it. So I usually just almost write this off as like advertising, and a little bit of income from it. But so the next step is you have to hit publish. And this is where, so that first check that we just went through was an AI check. It was an artificial intelligence. They have certain things set up to scan to look for margins. When we go forward at this point into the publisher paperback book, it goes to human being eyes. And sometimes they catch stuff that the AI didn't catch. So you might think you're good to go. And then all of a sudden you'll get an email back that'll say, hey, we have these issues with the book. It hardly ever happens with text. It happens a lot with children's books with illustrations for some reason. They get very picky. But generally speaking, if you're just publishing a regular book, you're going to be fine. So if you want to see a proof of the book, which is to say you get a copy of the book before it goes on sale, so you can make sure that the touch and the feel and the way the colors print, all that kind of stuff, is the way you want it to be, then you would do this. So you request a proof, and then you'll get an email to your personal Amazon account that'll say, okay, you're ready to order. I don't know why they do it that way. It's annoying. They didn't used to do it that way, but whatever, it's a thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because this is a very graphic book and we want to make sure that it looks correct. So I'm just going to do that. I'll submit the proof request. So then I just have to check my email and it will give me a link to my shopping cart. It's a whole thing, but it's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal as long as you check your email. It does expire within 24 hours, so you do want to just pay attention to your email. So if you are not going to request a proof, so now I'm going to wait for that proof to get mailed, which will take a couple days. I'm going to look at it. Then if I like what I see, I'm going to go ahead and hit publish your paperback book. Now, at that point, if they don't flag it for any other issues, it'll just go on sale. You'll just get an email that it's on sale. Recently, Amazon's made it harder to take something off sale once it's gone on sale. So I've done it sometimes with clients who have a very, very non-flexible launch date, like maybe they're having an event and has got to be on sale on this day. I'll publish it to make sure it's not going to get caught by that second round of checks. But then it's just live. It's just on sale, and then we take it down, and then it shows up as being out of stock, and it's a whole thing. So I'm not a huge fan of non-negotiable launch dates for that reason. But also, for most of us, no one's going to know your book's on sale unless you tell them. So now, since Amazon has changed and made it harder to take something off sale, make it disappear off Amazon, I usually just leave it up and just don't tell anybody. And then when you're ready to launch, you tell everybody and let it go. Because it's much better to have your book on sale too soon than too late. So I'd rather have it out there a couple days early and let possibly be discovered by some people. But chances are not. But know that it's good to go. Know that it's up there, that everything worked, and you're good to go. So that's it. I'm going to sign off. And after I get the proof, maybe I'll do a part 2 of this video and show just show this final step of putting it on sale, just to complete everything. So for now, I'm just going to save as draft. And then I do want to go back to the beginning. I just want to show one thing. So on your publishing thing, your bookshelf report. So this is where you're going to get your royalty reports. I can't click on it and show you because I have client books on here that sort of proprietary information. This is a community. You can ask questions of other self-publishing authors using Amazon. Pretty much you can search. I find this to be sometimes helpful. I usually find Google to be a little bit more helpful. But the other thing you do is you have your bookshelf. So that is going to list all of your titles. So if you have more than one book, it's all going to show up here. But this is also where you go if you're uploading, starting from scratch with a new book. And so you want to make sure which you're doing. So paperback, obviously is paperback, Kindle is Kindle. They're very different process, and your files need to be different when they're uploaded. So you have a print file and you'll have a Kindle file, and they're not interchangeable. So here, what we'll do when I do the second part of the video, when I actually put the book on sale, I'll come back through here and we'll do the Kindle process as well. So just as a quick note that you want to make sure that you are starting on the right path. Also, here is a lot of really, really good resources for if you're just starting out and you want to make sure that you're formatting your book correctly. I would definitely look at these links, look at this information, and then it's a very, very detailed and very, very robust getting started tips, answers every question. It's definitely worth looking there if you are planning on formatting your own book and want it to be as smooth as possible. So, all right, that's it. Thank you very much.